probably heard so much about how Toronto is expanding their commuter rail network, GO Transit, and our light rail subway network, the TDC. But you might not have seen Toronto's bus reformation. Because buses are boring, because they don't run on rails like the glorious train. Well, buses are also boring because they use the same roads as our cars. But what if buses had their own roads? What if buses could zoom down a lane of their own rapidly? And that is what bus rapid transit is all about. And Toronto is expanding bus rapid transit massively. By the end of this reformation, the region will have 10 bus rapid transit routes, including 5 existing ones and 5 under construction ones. From bus-only lanes on wide roads to highway transitways that wrap around the whole region to a former subway line that's getting converted into a busway. There's a lot to know about Toronto's undergoing bus rapid transit expansion, so we're going into all that and more in Season 2, Episode 6 of Metrolinx Simplified. Today, Toronto has 5 BRT lanes, 4 of which are in York Region, just north of the city, and 1 of which is in the city of Mississauga, to the west of Toronto. York Region Transit's Viva network has 4 lines that service the whole region. Viva Orange and Purple use the Highway 7 Rapidway, Viva Blue uses the Yonge Rapidway, and Viva Yellow uses the Davis Rapidway. Rapidways are median BRTs, meaning the leftmost lane on each side of the road is dedicated for buses. Meanwhile, in Mississauga, the Mississauga Transitway is a singular busway, a road for buses only, that stretches the city's entire length. Transitways are very different from rapidways, and transitways usually require more space, thus typically follow highways. This leads us to the first upcoming BRT on our list, the 407 Transitway. Ontario's Highway 407 is known for 2 things. 1, being a private and costly toll route, and 2, being used by 12 different GO Transit bus routes. And all 12 of these bus routes will use the upcoming 407 Transitway they want to build along the 407, from its start in Burlington to where the tolls end in Pickering. Starting from Dundas Street and Highway 407, the Transitway will have 30 stations to Brock Road in Pickering, running through 7 cities in the GTA. Now is a good time for me to bring up a few things about this map. 1, this map is not to scale. I just wanted to be able to fit all 10 of these lines in at once. And 2, some of these routes only include major stations, particularly Viva Orange and Purple, because if I included every station on certain lines, this map would have to be way larger. So that's the 407 Transitway. But on the topic of bus-only roads, we have the proposed Scarborough Busway. Before mid-2023, the Scarborough RT connected Kennedy Station to Scarborough Town Centre. But because of a derailment, the line was shut down, and for the better, because the line had a lot of problems. Now for over a year and a half, the tracks the RT used lay abandoned, waiting for a repurpose. But instead of restarting light rail on the tracks will be converted into a busway, the Scarborough Busway. The 2 abandoned stations on the old RT route, Lawrence East and Ellesmere, will become busway stations, and 2 new stations at Tara Moorgate and Eglinton East will be added. The Scarborough Busway isn't the only BRT coming to Scarborough, however, because we have the Durham-Scarborough BRT. This BRT will run in the median of Ellesmere Road and Highway 2, from Scarborough Town Centre to downtown Oshawa and Durham region, through 49 stations in 5 towns and cities. The Durham-Scarborough BRT will also alleviate crowding on the Lakeshore East GO train line, which runs parallel to the planned route. The Durham-Scarborough BRT will be a helpful asset, but it isn't the only BRT coming to Toronto. That's because the Dundas BRT will be connecting Kipling Station on Line 2 all the way to Highway 6 in Hamilton, 48 kilometers apart. It'll easily be the longest BRT in Canada, running through 5 cities like the Durham-Scarborough BRT. This route will be connecting one city the most particularly, Mississauga. Dundas is one of Mississauga's most significant and crowded roads, and the project is practically being spearheaded by the city of Mississauga. The only stations confirmed for the route so far are the 16 stations between Wharton Way in the east and Ridgeway in the west, all of which are in Mississauga. Oakville, Burlington, and Hamilton have yet to determine their stops. This route will be similar to the DS BRT, alleviating another GO train line, the Lakeshore West route. The Dundas BRT will also be called Dundas Connects, but mostly by the city of Mississauga. Last on the list is Brampton's first bus rapid transit route, the Queen Street BRT. The route will run from downtown Brampton at Hurontario Street and Queen Street to Vaughan Metropolitan Center on the existing Viva Orange line. Currently, the 501 Queen bus makes this same journey, but on-road, so the BRT will shorten times for 501 buses going to and coming from Vaughan MC. This extension will also provide free new stations for Viva Orange buses. In the future, when the Hurontario North Light Rail extension is complete, the Queen Street BRT will be the second BRT connecting the Hurontario LRT to the Toronto subway, the other one being the Dundas BRT. So, I know that was a lot to unpackage, but in summary, with 2 new Transitways and 3 new Rapidways, a lot of expansion is coming to Toronto and Friends Bus Rapid Transit, and I'm excited to see it. Hopefully this video has changed your mind on the perception of buses and BRT as boring, because it really isn't as boring as you think. In the future, all these BRTs could even be converted into light rail, but that's a story for another day. Anyways, I linked the download for this graph of the BRT network of Toronto circa 2041 down below. And now you all know that this will most likely be completed by or after 2041. That seems like a long time, but this will be over 260 kilometers of bus infrastructure, with over 125 stations across 8 Canadian transit agencies. It's going to be a huge undertaking. So, pardon the wait. But you won't have a wait to pardon if you subscribe to the Documentary YouTube channel. Here we upload consistently, every week at Friday 4 AM Eastern Standard Time. Content all about transit projects in Canada, from Toronto to Winnipeg to Ottawa to Halifax. If this video has come out by the time I released episode 1 of the Halifax video.